Time now to move in to my final mock draft simulation for the Dallas Cowboys. We'll start things off, of course, in round 1. Where else would we start? Leighton Vander Esch was not on the board, which made me happy. I think the YouTube guys happy as well. 5 guys I considered: Calvin Ridley, Rashaan Evans, Hernandez, DJ Moore, and then James Daniels. For me, I went with Calvin Ridley, and I'll tease it right now on Chat Sports NFL tonight. We'll have our mock draft. I have the Cowboys getting Ridley because Vander Esch was also off the board there. I like Ridley in terms of making an instant impact. I don't think he's the most athletic or the most high upside receiver, but he's a very Dak-friendly wideout. And as of right now, the Cowboys desperately need one of those. But I do want to know from you guys, which player would you prefer the Cowboys draft? James Daniels, Rashaan Evans, DJ Moore, Calvin Ridley. Those are the top 4 guys on the board for me at that time. Let me know in the comments section. And today's show brought to you by The Guild. Visit stayguild.com and use promo code ChatSports for 15% off your stay, kind of like a luxury Airbnb. Let's keep it rolling now to round 2. A couple different options here. Mike Gesicki was on the board. Nathan Shepard was high. Martinez Rankin, the O-lineman. Dallas Goedert. But in the end, I went with Austin Corbett, the offensive guard from Nevada. The Cowboys showed interest in Corbett. He played outside at tackle at Nevada. I think he moves inside in the NFL. I think if he's on the board at number 50, I think that's the pick. Also, keep an eye out in round 2. If a guy like Isaiah Wynn, James Daniels, somebody of that ilk slides down a little bit, or if there's a run on guards late in the first round, Dallas could trade up in round 2 to go get a guard or even a receiver or a linebacker that they like. I don't think Dallas moves up in round 1, but on day 2, I think they'll be very active and aggressive. All right, on to round 3 now. I was surprised that Nick Chubb was on the board. I had to mention him. Terrell Edmonds is a kind of a safety linebacker. Micah Kaiser's there. Deadrin Senat's there. But I went with Josey, Jewell, the linebacker from Iowa. I think he'd be a good fit for the Cowboys, who I think, by the way, will draft multiple linebackers in this year's draft. Not the best athlete, but he's highly, highly productive, has good instincts as well. If the Cowboys truly want a Mike linebacker, and in terms of a middle linebacker, I think Jewell's one of the better options if they don't take one early in the NFL draft. All right, on to round 4 now, day 3. Well, Deadrin Senat's sitting there. I like that one. Fred Warner also on the board. Dan Cruikshank has got a lot of recent buzz around him. Joseph Noteboom as a backup tackle. Jalen Samuels is kind of that third down back. But for me, it was kind of easy. I strongly considered Senat in round 3. I'm going to take him in round 4, and very quickly as well. He is a good fit for the Cowboys as a nose guard. Yes, he's undersized, but I think he fits the Rod Marinelli scheme pretty well. He's disruptive in terms of tackles for loss and sacks. I think he'd be a good fit for the Cowboys. If they can't get Vita Vea, who I love, I would not mind a round 3, round 4 pick on Senat. I think he'd be a good fit for the Cowboys. Number 2 round 4 picks for Dallas. Couple guys left here I like. Jannard Avery, I like him as a linebacker. Deshaun, I know a lot of the Cowboys fans like. John Kelly, I kind of considered. Not really Alan Lazard, but Fred Warner still on the board, and I like this kid a lot. He kind of played that safety linebacker role at BYU. A bit undersized, but he's very athletic. I think he'd be a great pairing with Josey, Jewell. He can come in on pass rushing downs, be kind of a sub linebacker early. Maybe he can play some safety as needed, but I think you take Jewell and Warner and you solidify your linebacking core in the event that Sean Lee and or Jones Smith get hurt again. All right, round 5. Armani Watts on the board, Ito Smith, Tyler Conklin, Desmond Harrison, even Quinn Blanding. I don't have my safety yet, so I'm going to take Armani Watts. He's what we call a sometimes player. Sometimes he makes the play. Sometimes he gives up the play. So he's a little bit inconsistent on that, and you see the interceptions, the tackles for loss. Not the best size. He might slide a little bit because of the size and the inconsistency, but I like him in round 5. If the Cowboys don't go safety early, I would not mind spending a mid-round pick on Armani Watts. All right, on to round 6 now, and Desmond Harrison's still there. Ito Smith is still there, so is Tyler Conklin. I like all those guys, but give me Ito Smith in round 6. He is a perfect third down back for the Cowboys, something they clearly want to add in this year's draft. Had great production at Southern Miss. I think Lance Dunbar, but can actually run the football more than Dunbar ever did. A great pass catcher. In round 6, if the Cowboys miss on Hines, I think they would draft Ito Smith at some point this year. I think they're very, very high on him. All right, back-to-back 6th-round picks then. So we'll throw in David Wells, another option. But I like Desmond Harrison here. Now, I am not the highest guy on Harrison because, yes, he's a great athlete, and he's got the raw talent. but he's super duper raw, and he turns 26. So in reality, you're kind of waiting a year, and then you got a 27-year-old offensive lineman. You're going to have 1 year or one contract with Harrison, I think. So round 6, it's worthwhile, but he might be a draft and stash guy on your practice squad. Some off-field concerns because he had left Texas and got dismissed there. So a lot of things to like about Harrison, but a lot of things to be concerned about, namely his rawness and his age. But in round 6, he's worth the flyer. All right, another round 6 pick here for the Dallas Cowboys. I see David Wells on the board. The Cowboys are interested in him. I thought about Brandon Facian as well, but I didn't go that route. I went with David Wells because the Cowboys actually had some interest and met with him, had a workout with him. The issue is bad production. That's a little bit deceptive. He was much better in 2016, but San Diego State just ran the ball every game, and it worked out really well. A little bit of work on his blocking, but he fits the Cowboys, I think, mold in terms of a guy that can block and can also have some upside as a pass catcher. Then again, Stephen Jones thinks that Blake Jarwin caught 80 balls his last year at Oklahoma State when he never caught 40 in his career. So, that's where we sit with tight ends. I don't trust the Cowboys right now making calls at tight ends. I wouldn't be a huge fan of this selection, but I think it's what the Cowboys could do. And now on to round 7. I see Chase Litton, some cornerbacks, Justin Lawler. Let's go crazy. Let's go Auden Tate and move him to tight end. How about that one? Because he's got great size, but he's a pretty bad athlete. So a nice red zone threat. Take him. It's a 7th-round pick. Take your flyer on him. Maybe stash him for a year. Maybe move him to tight end. See what he can do there. But he's not going to go really. There had been somebody who had first-round buzz on Tate. I never bought into it, and here's why. He's just a bad athlete. But the size and the production in terms of TDs, I can take it in round 7. All right, so recap the 7-round results here. Calvin Ridley, Austin Corbett, Josey Jewell, Deadrin Senat, and Fred Warner. I like those first 5 picks quite a bit. And I also like some of my value on day 3 with guys like Armani Watts, Ito Smith, and then throw in Desmond Harrison, David Wells, and then also Auden Tate.